Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports. Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football...
Well, welcome in everybody to the Big Blue Breakdown. This is episode number 39 here on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're obviously here on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, comment on here, guys. I am more than happy to reply to anything. If you guys want to talk about something in specific, please put that down. I am more than happy to really talk about anything. Obviously, we have a list here, but if we want to go off topic, I am completely fine with that. But yes, go ahead and follow us on TikTok, X, Instagram, and obviously here on YouTube and on Spotify. Thank you guys absolutely so much for 50 subscribers. That is absolutely insane. I very much appreciate that, guys. It means a lot to the channel. Obviously, we are trying to hit a goal here of 500. As you see here, sub goal of 500. It means a lot if you guys hit the notification bell, because when we go live like this or post just a regular episode, that you can get it. But yes, guys, thank you guys so much. It means an absolute ton to have you guys on here watching and listening if you are on Spotify right now. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in here. We will go ahead and just take a quick break in this episode and give you a quick word about our sponsor at W. I actually have the cup. I've shown you this, guys, before, but I will go and show you it again, the cup and everything that I've gotten. I love W. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. They have amazing stuff. I have the Calio cream. I think it's absolutely delicious to use before I work out. I've used it in the mornings before, before going to do something. But yes, guys, I absolutely love it. It's very, very good. Highly recommend it. But let's go ahead and give a word to them. Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number one, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number two, all flavors are unique and custom made by W. You'll never taste anything like a W drink. Number three, the drinks are $1 or less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get W. W is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need W. You need W throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing with you guys. If you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out W. Check out their website, and when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. Alrighty, guys. Again, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. Excuse me for a minute as I take a sip. But yeah, guys, in today's episode, obviously, we just went through our sponsor, but we're going to be breaking down the top 25 in itself. Going to be talking about that, what I like, what I dislike, and how many teams does Kentucky play on there is really a big question. But man, there's a lot, and I know it's tough for them to preseason have an amazing idea, especially 10 to 25, what these teams are going to look like. So I don't think it's necessarily terrible, but we'll go ahead. And then obviously we have, can Kentucky make it in? Can Kentucky make it to the top 25 is what I'm saying here. Can Kentucky make it? And when in the schedule would they make it? If they, I'm not predicting that they will, just based off obviously preseason expectations, even for myself. But it's just something I think it'd be something to think about for sure. But when in the schedule, if Kentucky were to make it in the top 25, where would that be? Also going to be talking about the most important game stretch. I think that would be a very, very big one to talk about. And then also, we'll just be talking. If you guys want to comment anything, that will be very much appreciated. I'm more than happy to answer to any comments or questions. But let's go ahead and jump into the top 25 here. So obviously you see here the top 25 and the rundown of it, where all the SEC teams are placed. And I'll go ahead and tell you them here. If you were just listening on Spotify, Texas is number 1. We obviously play them. We got number 5 Georgia, and this is all SEC guys, but we also play Georgia. 8 Alabama, 9 LSU, 13 South Carolina, which we play, 15 Florida, which we play, 18 Oklahoma, 19 Texas A&M, 21 Ole Miss, 24 Tennessee, and then others that received votes play Louisville. Louisville's on there. Missouri in the SEC, and very interesting, very, very interesting to me. Toledo and Auburn. Toledo being the one that sticks out to me. That shows just how tough our schedule is going to be when a G5 team that we play first game of the season is getting votes into the AP Top 25 to start the year. I think that shows just how tough that first game is going to be and how important it is that, like, if we end up winning, by 21 points, I think that really shows, like, we can be very, very solid and possibly a team that they have kind of high on their metrics and rankings there. So I personally like that it's going to be kind of tough for us in the first game, but I don't like it at the same time. Obviously, the Cats play number 21 Ole Miss, 24 Tennessee, 15 Florida, 13 South Carolina, 5 Georgia, 1 Texas. But yes, a very, very hard slate here. And I'll jump back to that picture there. But I want to just go ahead and say that, like, I'm going to give you who I think is underrated, who I think should have made it in, and just kind of like my overall thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and just talk about that real quick. I really like Texas at number 1. I think that is the right spot for them. A tremendous team. Arch, if he lives up to the hype, this team's going to be absolutely absurd. Even if he doesn't completely live up to the hype, I still really, really like it for this team. Number 5, Georgia, absolutely stacked this year. I can see them actually being above a Clemson here, who is actually really, really good. But I think 5 is an okay spot for him. I could see them being actually 4 here. If I were to switch anything, I would make Texas 1, Penn State 2, Ohio State 3, Georgia 4, right? And then I would actually move Alabama. And I'm specifically talking about SEC here. I would move Alabama up to about, I would say, the 6th spot probably. So mine personally, if I were to switch these right here, it would be Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, even though I'm really, really high on Clemson this year. I think they got a tremendous squad. I would have Alabama right there, and then I would have Notre Dame at 7, and then Oregon at 8. Honestly, I think you can honestly move LSU up that ladder. Garrett Nussmeier being a Heisman contender and probably the Heisman favorite going into the 2025 season. And I love the work that they've done in the offseason, guys. Tremendous work from Brian Kelly. I don't think he's fighting for his job, but he's got to get in the playoffs, at least to me, to stick around there for a couple of years, to me. I don't think he would lose his job after a not making the playoffs, but I think that he's just fighting for something more, and that more would be getting into the playoffs and actually doing something in the postseason. And they have a really, really tough slate to do that because they got the number 4th ranked team on here. They're playing them week 1, but I like LSU. I think I would possibly just for fun here, I would go Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, then LSU. Because I'm really that high on them. I love their pickups on the outside. I think they got a tremendous offensive line, and I think this defense takes even another step from what they were last year. So yes, I'm really high on LSU. I'm not as high on Miami as a top 10 team. I think last year's success was really, really awesome, but you lose Cam Ward, and that in itself is just such a big thing. I think they can be solid. I don't think Carson Beck is a bad quarterback at all. I can see him having a lot of success at Miami. I just think that I don't know how I feel about them. I don't know if they've necessarily upgraded at the wide receiver position either. They had really, really good wide receivers last year. I like them at that position, and I don't know if they've necessarily upgraded there. I'm not saying that they've really totally downgraded, but obviously Carson Beck is a step down right now from Cam Ward, but that's to be expected. Their defense was abysmal last year, and offense really carried them through it with Mario Cristobal. I think he's a really, really good offensive play caller, but I'm just not sure about their defense. Does their defense take a next step? They can't be as bad as last year, but can their offense be as good as last year? And I think that's a no. So where would I have them? Let's go back to it here. I would honestly, I would probably have them in the top 15. I wouldn't have them in the top 10, and that's just me. So there would probably be, for me, 11, 12, 13, or 14, or 15. Those would probably be my places for them, I would say. And then got SMU. I am not high on SMU really that much. I think they lost an absolute ton. I think we have to see something from them to see this team being a top 16 team in the country. I know last year's success was nice, but I think they actually take a step back from last year. I know they got a really solid quarterback, but you've seen how good they were last year, but then they go into Penn State and they were not that good, compared to them. So I actually think they take a step back, but obviously with the ACC schedule, it's definitely possible to see them back into the playoffs. Thank you guys also here for joining. I see 4 people are watching here. Please, guys, ask questions. If you have any questions about the AP poll, my thoughts on it here, that's what I'm giving you, or anything just about Kentucky football in general. Kansas State. I think Avery Johnson. I think Avery Johnson is actually really, really solid. I'm really glad to see Oklahoma in this. I think Oklahoma and most of the SEC teams in this top 25 that are 15 and below, or maybe 13 and below, are really victims to their schedule. Let's be honest. Oklahoma has an absolute gauntlet of a schedule, and so does South Carolina. I think, to me, if this is just me ranking it, I would put Oklahoma. I would switch Oklahoma and South Carolina. I'm not as high on South Carolina as a lot of people are. I don't want to say they're overrated. I just think they lost a crap ton of people last year, and I don't see a world where they repeat that same success this year. I've already done my schedule prediction for them. If you go check that out. I haven't actually posted that one. Excuse me, but just go ahead and spoil it here. I have them going 6-6, and I know that is pretty hard to fathom for these Gamecock fans. But listen, they have an absolute gauntlet of a schedule, and some of these games are so daggone tough, even though they're such a good team. And I could see a 7-5, 8-4, but I do think in general they take a step back. So I would personally go. I would drop Arizona State as well here with South Carolina, but I would switch actually Oklahoma and South Carolina, and I would have Texas A&M above Kansas State and SMU. I would drop Florida a little bit, maybe just right below Texas A&M if they jumped like if Texas A&M was at that. Let's see here. If Texas A&M was at that 16th spot, maybe 15th spot, I would move Florida down to about the 17 or 18th spot. I'm not as big on them. To me personally, I don't see how Tennessee is a top 25 team in the country. That is just me, just based off their roster, based off what they've lost, and based off the fall camp intel. To me, you cannot tell me that their fall camp intel is elite or a top 25 or anything like that. I truly believe that they take a major step back from last year. I just don't see it, guys. I don't think Joey Aguilar is the answer, and I could see them playing it would be freshman or sophomore or a redshirt freshman being the quarterback. I just don't see it for this team really. Heading into the 2025 season, I have them actually going 8-4. They have an easier schedule than like somebody like South Carolina, where I think South Carolina is a better team than Tennessee by far, but they're going to win 2 more games than South Carolina, in my opinion, and just because of their schedule. But I think they genuinely take a major step back from last year. But Boise State, I guess they can be in because of Mountain West, and they probably have one of the best rosters in the Mountain West. I couldn't really tell you. I don't see Indiana being this high, even though they have a pretty solid quarterback in Mendoza. Ole Miss, I like 21 for them. I would say, personally, I probably would move them down a little bit. But yeah, 21. 21 is all right. I would probably have them at actually like 23 or 24, in my opinion. I think Texas Tech is lower than what people think. I think Texas Tech actually is going to win the Big 12 this year. Actually, absolutely stacked roster for the Red Raiders. So I think the Red Raiders are going to be very, very good this year, and I see them definitely moving up the ladder. So that is my take on the AP Top 25. And just another thing there, Toledo is getting votes into the AP Top 25, guys. That's how solid this G5 Toledo team is, and I could see them very, very much hanging in a game with us and beating us. Like that wouldn't be a big surprise to me, even though I'm not going to be predicting that. That you can see the line, how small the line is for a game like this, what they did last year. But guys, they lose a ton, an absolute ton up front on the offensive line. This team was really, really bad last year in running the ball and stopping the run, and they caused a lot of penalties. But they have a very, very good quarterback, guys, and they have really, really good wideouts. So with that, I guess in the MAC, like that's going to get you wins. Like the overall talent right there is going to get you wins. That is just what I'm thinking. I do think, obviously, we're more talented, and I can see them getting votes, I guess, if people think that if they can really have the same group and repeat the same thing as they did last year, be a top 25 team. They fell off a little bit in the MAC, but that's kind of my thoughts on it. But that shows how tough Kentucky's schedule is heading into the 2025 season. Obviously, we're going to be predicting it actually coming up soon after we break down this full roster. Just to give you guys a heads up, on exactly what we're doing until actually the week 0 games start. We're gonna finish finish up with breaking down this whole roster and grading them from 2024 to 2025. Like, what are the improvements that we made? And then, obviously, if you guys watch us on TikTok, X, obviously here on YouTube Shorts, you're going to be predicting every SEC team's schedule. And also, we are going to be obviously predicting the Cats' schedule as well. We're going to be doing that. I'm going to give you like top offenses in the SEC, maybe my personal power rankings going to the SEC, top defenses in the SEC, maybe like a lot of rankings right there. Talk about what the identity of the Cats team is. So we're going to still be breaking down a lot. Still got a lot to do before the season officially hits. And then when that hits, it'll be a lot simpler, obviously, because we'll just be talking the games. So gonna be having a lot of content coming out for you guys in the next couple of weeks, heading into week 0. But so be ready for that. So it's gonna be a lot of fun heading into this 2025 season. Okay, we're talking about the most important stretch for the Cats in 2025. I forgot to change the slate number, didn't I? This is episode 39, and I have. Are you serious? How do I not have that changed? I should probably change that. But anyways, as we talk about the most important slate heading into the 2025 season, what is that, guys? It is the first. Well, I think it maybe could change. I'm gonna have two options here. Okay, I'm gonna simply have two options here. We got the first 3 games of the season in Toledo, Ole Miss, and Eastern Michigan. Okay, we have that stretch right there. Or we have the last 3 games of the season. In Tennessee Tech, Vandy, and Louisville. Guys, let me be crystal clear here. I think the Wildcats could go 6-0 in those 2 stretches kind of combined right there. I think that's a total possibility for this team, even though it's going to be absolutely just tough to do that. But to me, those are the easiest stretches of the year. You look at the middle of that schedule, okay? And I know I'm not really answering the question right now, which I will. You look at South Carolina on the road, Georgia on the road, Texas at home, Tennessee at home, Auburn on the road, Florida at home. 6 games right there, absolutely tough. To me, if you can get out of all that stretch right there, if you get 1 or 2, that's pretty daggone successful. So to me, the success of this season is going to be the last 3 games of the season and the first 3 games of the season. It's that simple, guys. It is that simple. Can the Cats make it in? All right. That's the question right here. And then what's the most important stretch? And can the Cats make it in and win? They're kind of tied together because I have the same daggone answer here. The first 3 games. It is the most important stretch of the schedule. Okay, you start on 3-0. That is absolutely huge. That would be a win against a pretty daggone good Toledo team that is getting AP top 25 votes, guys. That is getting AP top 25 votes. All right, you win that game. You beat a top 25 Ole Miss team. You win an SEC game at home. You win an SEC game, period, and you beat a top 25 team. You beat Eastern Michigan, which you should. They're probably the second worst team on our schedule behind Tennessee Tech. But you start off 3-0. 3-0. That means through the rest 9 games, you have to win 3 more games. You have to have a win. Those 9 games, you have to basically, in baseball terms, you got to hit 333. You got to hit 333. You win the first 3 games. You win 3 more for the rest of the season in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. I think 2 of them can easily come in a stretch against Tennessee Tech and Vandy. All right? I honestly like our shot. I think we have a pretty decent shot. Tennessee at home, okay? Florida at home. I think it's a winnable game there. I think Auburn on the road is very winnable. I think Tennessee, Auburn, and Florida, very winnable games right there. Maybe you get one. You lose to, obviously, Georgia, Texas. You get one out of the Tennessee, Auburn, and Florida, and you win the last 3 games. That's 7-5, guys. That is 7-5. I could really see this happening. I think it's definitely a possibility, for sure. Obviously, it's going to be absolutely insanely tough for the Cats to do this. But to me, the most important stretch of the entire season relies on the first 3 games. On the first 3 games. The second stretch would be the last 3 games. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and dive into actually, if Kentucky were somehow, some way to make it into the AP top 25, it would be in the first 3 games as well. And the reason behind that would be you beat a really, really good Toledo team that is getting votes to make it into the top 25. You beat a top 25 SEC team in the second one. How much improvement should be expected from the passing game, especially with Zach Calzada at the helm? Well, thank you, Angeli, for commenting. And I will answer your question. I'll answer your question before we keep going here. Let's see here. Get back to my thing here. How much of the passing game? How much improvement? Well, I think it'd be a big improvement from last year, considering how bad it was. It was really, really bad last year. I actually think we upgraded at the wide receiver position. And maybe we're not at our best. Maybe we're not as good as we were with Danke and Barry Brown as our 1 and our 2, with our 1s and our 2s. But I think our depth is better than ever right now. Period. I think our depth is better than ever right now. I think Zach Calzada actually is very solid for us. Obviously, be better than Brock Vandegrift or Gavin Wimsatt last year. And I think I've heard some really good things that he wants to be a system quarterback and he's going to play in the system for us. And I genuinely like that. I genuinely like that a lot. So, yeah, I would go yes. How much improvement? It's hard to say how much, but there will be an improvement for sure. I would guess, like, if you want to throw out a number there, like, it's going to be 60% better than last year. It's going to be 60% better than last year. I think we're gonna be able to throw more touchdowns. I think we're gonna be able to get creative in the passing game along with the running game, and I think the offensive line is a big reason of that. And I think he's able to get help from a lot of guys, and he plays in the system and doesn't go out of himself. And I think that compliments him because Bush Hannon went out and got his guy. But yeah, thank you so much for asking that question, Angeli. Yes, I think it will be improved from last year and about 60% better from last year. That would be my answer. But back to the schedule here. I would, again, if Kentucky were somehow, some way, they would get into the top 25, it would be because of the first 3 games. Angela says, I agree that there will be an improvement. Thanks for the detailed answer. You're welcome. Thank you so much for commenting here. It means a lot. Number 1 supported. Thank you. But yes, I think the most important stretch of games, first 3 games of the year, and If there's a way for Kentucky to get the top 25, you beat a team that's getting votes to get in a G5 team. You beat a actual ranked SEC team, and then you become 3-0, which is better than 2-0, obviously. 3-0 against Eastern Michigan. So I think there's a chance we could be put in there after the Eastern Michigan game. So we have an undefeated record and two really, really solid wins in themselves. But yeah, that would be my answer for that for sure right there. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, please ask, because I think we're entering the part of this where like just talk if anybody wants to. Thank you guys so much for joining in here to this live. But yeah, if you still look at this schedule here, I'll leave this up for a little bit. If I were to ask you guys, like, what's your schedule prediction for the Cats going into 2025 out of all 12 games? How many games do you think the Cats win? For me, I don't. There'll be a video out on it, but honestly, like I've said before, it's probably around the 5, 6, 7 range. 5, 6, 7 range for sure. And I think that's realistic, guys. And I think that's obviously a big step up from last year. And I believe that if we were to do that, I think we're in a good position moving forward, just generally as a program, for sure. But yeah, that would definitely be it for me. If we were to make it in, and what 3 game stretch is important, and to break this down even a little bit more, I would say, so if we were to break this schedule down without predicting it, more of like a preview for it. I know I'm kind of going off script here. Again, if you guys want to comment anything, be more than happy to answer anybody's questions. But anyways, the toughest slate of games for the Cats is going to be in the middle, right? Is going to be in the middle. Thank you guys so much for coming on here. Please. What's up, Dustin? How we doing, man? How we doing? Welcome in. I am more than happy to stay on here as long as you guys want and talk. That's good, man. It's all good. We're just sitting here, and we've went through the AP Top 25 here. Kind of got my thoughts on it. Yeah, had some fun with that, and then had some just like interesting questions about like what, like, if the Cats were gonna make it into the top 25. What stretch in the season would that be? That'd be just kind of like a just a fun thing. I'm not saying that we will be in the top 25, but like, let's say like if we were to get in, what stretch of games would that be? And my answer for that would be the first 3 games. I didn't maybe go back to that one. I meant to go right here. It'd be the first 3 games, and it's simple because you get a win against Toledo, who is getting votes in the AP Top 25. You beat a top 25 team in Ole Miss, and you beat Eastern Michigan. So you're 3-0 to start the year with 2 really, really good wins, one being a top 25 win. So that would kind of be my answer right there. And then actually it's the same answer for what is the most important stretch of games, and it's the first 3 games for me. Again, if you can start off the season 3-0, you got to win, 3 more games for the rest of the year? How will the team manage the pressure and expectations following a disappointing 4-1-7 season last year? That's a tough question. Thank you, Angeli, for commenting again here. How will the team manage the pressure and expectations? Well, honestly, I don't think there should be that much pressure on this team. There's not a lot of preseason hype surrounding this team. Not a lot of preseason hype surrounding this team. Like, People are predicting us to go 3-9, 4-8. Even our own fans are down on us this year. So I think this is when Mark Stoops is actually his best, and just comes along and has a good year and makes a bowl game. But I think it all starts up front with us guys. It all starts on the defensive line and the offensive line. I think it's really where Kentucky is gonna, if we're gonna succeed this year, that's where we got to be our best. It's simply that, because everything revolves around the offensive line and the defensive line. If the offensive line is good, Zach's going to be solid, and when Zach's solid, the wide receivers are going to be solid for us, and our really really good running back room. So I would say it all starts up front for us. That would be my short answer for it. But yeah, going back to the schedule here again, Dustin, I was saying like if we were somehow to the very first 3 games of the year win, right? I think that's definitely manageable, guys. I believe Ole Miss. I think that's a very very gettable game. At home, there's some camp intel on Austin Simmons that he did not have a great scrimmage. Okay, I know that's one scrimmage. I know you can only take so much away from that, but let's say that this is kind of like a looking forward moment. Like, let's say he's just not the greatest in the Lane Kiffin system or just in general. I think we go 4-1. I like that. Okay, yeah. If you guys see my schedule prediction for South Carolina, I have them going 6-6. I do have them beating us, but this is the game, and I don't think it's Ole Miss this year. This is the game that Kentucky would win. It'd be everybody's downing us, even if we get a win against Ole Miss, I think they're still going to be down on us. It's going to be about how bad Ole Miss is and how, just how unlucky they were to go into Kroger Field and lose. But that would be like the game that we went in there, like the Ole Miss game last year, and somehow pull off a win. We tend to do that every year. A couple Florida games in the past being that game for us. But again, I could definitely see that South Carolina game being a trap game for them. And we somehow go in there and pull off an upset. Their defense is not that good, guys. I don't think, besides Nick Harbor, that their offense, their wideouts, are that good. I do think that Lenore Sellers is an elite quarterback, no doubt about it in my mind. He's an absolute elite quarterback. But other than that, it kind of depends on if Faison gets his eligibility passed. I think that's a big factor going into it. And their offensive line was not good last year. I don't know exactly the moves that they made, but if they're something to how they were last year, again, I see this team going 6-6. And let's say how they start out the season, not so great. And I think we can go in there and pull off an upset. So I actually really, really like that right there. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in here. Everybody that is in here right now, 4 people, awesome. Again, thank you to Dustin and Angeli for commenting here. So if I were to ask you guys this question, I've already answered it. What is the most important stretch of games for the Cats in 2025? We'll go to their schedule so you guys can see it and tell me what you guys think. I say stretch of games, 3 or 4 games is what I'm saying. 3 or 4 games. So, as I've been saying, I think my number 2 would be Tennessee Tech, Vandy, and Louisville, because I believe legitimately those are all winnable games here for the Cats. But I will let you guys take a minute and decide which 3 to 4 games is the most important to you guys in the 2025 season. Like, what is really going to dictate our season? What 3 or 4 games are really going to dictate how well we do or how bad we do? I think Tennessee Tech and Vandy are my Tennessee Tech, Vandy, Eastern Michigan are my for sure wins. I would agree with you. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I just think those are the most winnable, if I'm being completely honest. I think to me, honestly, the only guaranteed losses for us, the more I look into this schedule, the more I dig into each team game by game and predicting their schedule, and I wouldn't predict this, I'm just saying previewing it, our most important stretch Dustin, commented, our most important stretch to me is Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. That's where we make our statement to the SEC. Okay, Texas is going to be tough, but I think Tennessee is having so many offseason troubles. We can take them. I really agree there. You look at the Boo Carter situation, look at the Joey Aguilar situation. They cropped him out of the video because he threw an interception. What do I think? I also think that we get ranked after week 5 when we fight hard against Georgia and Texas. Okay, I actually really like those that take right there. Yes, I would agree with you there. I think it is very easy to look at this and say. So yeah, you said what was it? Tennessee is going to. Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. Okay. In my opinion, in that stretch, there's honestly to me, this is non-biased anything. From what I've seen and what I've heard, I think Tennessee game is very, very winnable for the Cats. At home, I know historically we have struggled, but just looking at this season, not looking in the past or anything like that, them at home, I like it a lot. We have played them so good in the past 4 years, I want to say. But yeah, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. Yeah, I like it a lot, guys. I like it a lot. Georgia's going to be really, really tough at Georgia, but we always tend to play them good. I'm not predicting a win, but you're also looking for more competitiveness this year with how badly things were last year. You're looking to be more competitive this year. And obviously we competed with them, and I think we have that pick, and it's not overturned. We win that football game. I think our season goes completely different, by the way. But yeah, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. I don't see us beating Georgia or Texas. I think they're super, super talented. I think we give both of them a good run, and I could definitely see us beating Tennessee. I can't predict that. I can't get my hopes up that high, because we always lose to them for just some reason. Even when we have a better roster, a better season, everything seems to go wrong against them. But I think Auburn is a winnable game. Depends on how they are doing in their season up to that point. I think Louisville is a winnable game. But yeah, the reason I would say the first 3 and the last 3 is because they're the most winnable. And I can see where you're coming from here, Dustin. But yeah, I would definitely go Toledo, Ole Miss, Eastern Michigan, because that sets the tone for the rest of the season. We had such a bad start last year. But apparently, the way this team has been built in the offseason is, I know last year we didn't have a good start to the season, obviously. In the past years, we have been very, very, very good in the very beginning of the season, okay? And then it's just kind of a very bad fall off in the middle. And then, like, the last 2 games of the season, we pick it up. Okay? I think we do have a good start to the season. I think we do. And then I think we have a strong end to the season because of our depth and the way this team is built. Like a win against Tennessee Tech, a win against Vanderbilt, and a win against Louisville. Okay? That's really, I think, the most winnable 3-game stretches that I could see. I could definitely see us possibly beating Florida at home. I think that's a winnable game as well, guys. Well, how long have we been on here? 46 minutes. Yeah, guys. If you guys anything else to comment here, if not, I guess we will hop off here. But if you guys want to comment anything before we go off or just start a new conversation, I'm totally fine with that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in here. There will be a video coming out tomorrow, overviewing our wide receiver and tight end position And then in the next couple of days, we will get into the defense and breaking them down from 2024 to 2025. Thank you, Dustin. The SEC is a whole lot stronger this year, as in the lower tier. Teams aren't so much underdogs anymore. SEC is all capable of beating anyone. Yeah, I totally agree here, Dustin. In my opinion, I think the top tier of the SEC isn't as good as years past. It's not a big gap from the last couple of years, but it's not as good as years past. Okay? The middle of the SEC is better than ever. Absolutely ever. It is better than ever in the middle. The lower part of the SEC is better than ever. Better than ever. You're telling me that I know Mississippi State was really abysmal last year. I know they were. I actually do think they take a step forward. I haven't done a prediction for them, but I do think they, as a team and as just competing in general, I think they take a step forward. Let's just go. I'm not saying this is what it's going to be. Let's go based off what preseason expectations are. Who's going to be in the bottom? It's going to be as Mississippi State, us, Arkansas, Vandy. 4 of them right there. I see a world. Vandy upset somebody. You've seen it last year. Arkansas with Taylor Green upset somebody. Us upset somebody. I can see it week 2. I'm not trying to spoil my prediction here. I see it week 2. And then I see Mississippi State could. I don't know what their schedule is exactly, but man, I can see them beating somebody. And I did actually fix the episode number here, so it is episode 39 and 37. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you so much. But yes, guys, I think we are going to hop off here. Had some really, really good conversations with you guys today. Thank you for everybody that has commented. It means an absolute ton, guys. I believe we're going to... when should we do a live again? I want to try doing a live in the next couple of days, and maybe it'll be a pop-up live just out of the random if something comes up, and we just want to talk about it. But yeah, tomorrow, we're going to be doing a tight end and a wide receiver preview for the 2025 season. So what's going to be coming out, if you guys didn't hear earlier in this live, we're going to be breaking down, obviously, Kentucky's schedule, and we're going to break down the rest of these position groups and what are my thoughts on them, and that really comes together into one. What I think, to completely break down the schedule, and then do a lot more rankings on the SEC. And really, where does Kentucky fall in that? And what does that give us for the season upcoming? We're so close to college football, guys. It's so exciting. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in here. Thank you, Dustin, for commenting. Thank you, Angeli, for commenting on here. Thank you, everybody that has watched. It means an absolute ton to the channel. 50 subscribers. We're so close to... We're halfway there to 100. Obviously, our goal is 500. But yeah, man, it has been an absolute great episode here, great live. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 39 here in the Big Blue Breakdown. And as always, go Cats.